Gotta just set this up here. Okay, what's going on? So this week, what happened? There's a bunch of stuff happened this week and also last week, I guess, or just the past month, really. And I'm just trying to catch up. There's a lot going on, and let's just see and try to just stay in the loop, basically. Um, there's also a few resources I've bookmarked that I want to share with you all, and hopefully you can find some value in it. So let's get started. First things first is the client management with client payments. So Webflow used to have this client payment situation where you can actually, spin up a Webflow account and then charge your clients for it. And they rolled out a few features back in the day, and by back in the day I mean like a couple of years ago, where you can actually manage client billing and all this stuff so that you are essentially the owner of the hosting, let's say. And they spun up, like, I don't really remember, but they spun up a whole bunch of different ways and different experiences to kind of make this process a little bit better. And then recently they got rid of it altogether, and they started rolling out different seats, like freelancer seats or agency seats, that you can then get invited to, so that your client is just owner of everything end to end. I remember in the older version of this, they had wow, they had a way for you to upcharge the hosting and make some money, some like kickback from it, which is kind of cool. But of course, Webflow now is quite expensive, especially if you're getting up to your bandwidth limits and all these things that people are running into. It looks like recently they just rolled this out and are now kind of doing a whole bunch of stuff here where you can now select to charge to your client or pay for yourself if it's just your own property, which is pretty nice. It's available, it looks like, on all tiers, and you can kind of see some of the things here. They say, as part of our commitment to powering the long-term success of freelancers and agencies, we're investing in new ways to streamline client management inside of Webflow. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to client collaboration. Some clients prefer to host their sites themselves, inviting their web development partners to build as guests. Others may grant complete control to their partners, allowing them to build and host on their behalf. I don't really know what the actual use case would be, or like what kind of business wouldn't want to own their own hosting. A lot of the clients I work with don't really, they want to own everything essentially. So I think it comes down to how you're pitching, and then also how you're selling Webflow as basically like as a service. um, and just saying that you'll manage all the hosting and do all that stuff. I don't know how this really impacts if for some reason you're not on a retainer with your client, right? You build a website, they don't want to pay you monthly as far as like actual services. I don't know how that would go. And potentially this might muddy certain things where, if for some reason a client ends up hiring another shop, what does that mean really? Are they stuck with you basically? So that would kind of be not great. But maybe they have some solutions in here. Freelancers and agencies can now request that clients add their credit card. That's cool. Track the status, invoices. To use client payments for an existing site plan, temporarily downgrade the site to the starter plan, then enable client payments. So there's some sort of a migration of some sort that can happen, which is nice. And make project handoff hassle-free with seamless transfers. Historically, moving a site into a client's workspace required multiple steps, canceling the site plan, uninstall. Yeah, this is a disaster and a nightmare, and why, a lot of people kind of ignore Webflow. To address this issue, we're launching seamless transfers. Nice. Now, any site paid for through client payments can be transferred from your freelancer or agency workspace to your client's workspace. That's pretty cool. Since there's no billing charges to a site upon transfer, site plans and settings don't need to be downgraded once a transfer is initiated. Your client will receive an email. Cool. So this is kind of like transferring a Figma project file from your own workspace into your client's Figma workspace. I think a lot of these SaaS companies, especially, like design tools, like design services, I suppose, are kind of just going into this model. So you have like this whole payment structure where you have, seats, and then you have the workspaces. And it seems like Webflow is really just leaning into that, which is nice because that's how everyone else is doing it. Figma for sure is doing that, right? And so it looks like with Webflow, you can at least, I don't know if you can upcharge actually. Let's see. What's next for freelancers? Additional, not much. It looks like they just rolled out the fact that your client can essentially pay you instead of Webflow directly. So I'm not sure what the actual benefit of this. So the older version of this, if you can even call it that, you were able to upcharge, right? You were able to like bill them a certain percentage. It was like a little calculator, a certain percentage where you could, charge, let's say, like your retainer fee plus the hosting fee plus everything else. And so there's just one invoice that goes out to the client or gets charged to the client's credit card. It works if you're, not like in the thousands and thousands of dollars per month with your retainers. If it's just like smaller retainers, I found that worked really well back then. But yeah, I'm not sure. This seems like you're just kind of handling the billing, and not necessarily, there's no other added value here, except for maybe like it lives on your workspace, which also is nice, because you can easily clone the website, work on like a staging type of environment, and then not have to like worry about permission settings or anything like that when you're in development still. So that part I see it's pretty nice. So you can have like a fully kind of like a business plan or like a business tier Webflow environment where you can create however many collections you need to create. You're not like bogged down by it. This is something that we run into all the time because we work on really large websites that if I clone it into my workspace as a free site, then it kind of it gets limited essentially. So maybe there is something here. Actually, now that I think about it, even that example of cloning, that's still a free site. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's just about permissions, I guess, why you would want to do something like this. So that's Webflow client payments. It used to be different, but now it's the same. They removed it and now it's back. Great update, Webflow. The next one that kind of came up was they rolled out some updates to Figma to Webflow plugin. I kind of wanted to check that out, actually. I saw that come across. Where was that even? I don't even know. I guess it was on like Twitter or something, or X. And essentially, apparently, they just made some updates to it. So what I want to do, and to just kind of test this out, I'm going to grab like a Reloom Webflow. Grab like a Reloom clone and see whether or not, I'm actually able to use this thing. It looks like I'm not even logged in, so that's good. Can I just like clone from here? Where's the clone? I want to grab Reloom just because it has a bunch of components in it. I don't know. Well, actually, this might not be the best way to go about it. Let me think. Yeah. I think the best way to go about this is, let me go off screen for a second and just log into Webflow real quick. Should probably like do this beforehand every single time, but you know, I don't. How do I even log into Webflow? I'm on my PC today, so definitely not ideal situation here. I've also got like many multi-factor authentication going on, so it's kind of hard to just quickly log into Webflow. Here we go, logging in. There we go. Takes like a million clicks to get into Webflow. Oh, look at that. There's something new again. Webflow loves their little tiny but mighty updates. I do too. It's kind of nice. Get a little gift every time. Users with marketer role can select components outside of page. Ooh, access, edit any props directly. Oh, that's kind of nice. Marketers need full control over their content, but until now, they've been limited when working with components. Users with marketer role, drag and drop, edit content, have been unable to select and edit component props outside of page slots. Oh, I see. Now, users with marketer, I actually haven't played around with the marketer role. Usually, I'm building things so that my client feels empowered to use the build mode. I don't know too much about the marketer role. I should probably look into that at some point. We'll table that. Let's focus on the task at hand. Trying out this new Figma to Webflow little plugin. I obviously have a million websites here. Let's see, maybe Playground, I guess. What am I trying to do? I'm gonna create a completely blank site. Miles's dandy site, sure. Figma to Webflow test. I don't know when the last time I've spun up a Webflow that's completely blank and empty. I don't think that's ever happened actually. I usually like start with a framework or something. What's happening? Okay. All right. So we got a completely fresh Webflow site here. Wow. It's been a while. There's nothing absolutely here. That's interesting to see. Okay. So what's the next step? I guess we can just spin up also. I'm going to like actually, maybe I can duplicate a design system. See how that goes. This is my preferred design system when I'm kind of working on products or slowly transitioning this into a web system. This is Figma's own little design system. It's kind of nice. It's got everything on it. But as you can see, it's very, they do have examples for websites, but it's very much like product design, not so much web design. Although they have like hero sections and stuff. And to me, the biggest difference with, there's a lot of differences. It's completely night and day, but web design is more like marketing and, you know, more of a magazine. Product design is literally products. So there's a lot of utility to, you know, to do. And the spacings also are different. There's many different levels of headings and products, right? So it's completely different. But I guess we'll just see how Webflow's plugin or their Figma to Webflow plugin works. Plugins and widget. I just do Webflow. So here it is. I haven't used this since it first like happened, so, or when they first launched it. So it's been a while. Log in with Webflow and choose the workspace sites. Okay, sure. more login here. Let me just find a workspace. I'm just gonna connect and authorize this app to access a whole folder. Cool. So it's telling me that it's now somehow connected. Uh-oh. Just lost my window. Great. That's good. We're back to Webflow. Okay. So back to our playground. Figma to Webflow. Let's go check out what we're dealing with here. Okay, next I need to probably add this app in here. It should, I thought it would just automatically be in here, but it's not. Figma to Webflow. So install app. Didn't I just do this? I thought I literally just did this. Oh. They got a little... Did I just download the wrong thing? Okay. Go back to my dashboard. So let's take a look at what's going on here. So Figma to Webflow, let's launch. There it is, app installed. Okay, back in here, let's hit get started. Making a connection, nice. Sweet, so now to get started, select a Webflow site from the drop down in the top left corner, okay. Figma to Webflow test, I don't know why there's two, but that's okay. Select any frames or components with auto layout to get started. Okay, cool. Wait, so the main thing I actually want to figure out is this, the variables. Only one collection and mode can be synced at a time. Okay, this is the world's smallest modal, but it's okay. What's this? Settings? Oh. Now, I don't know if these are new, but that's pretty awesome. Uh-oh. What's happening? These look like they're in a disabled state. That kind of drives me a little crazy. Okay, so primitives. Also, like taking a look at this design system, why I love it is because it's got everything, the primitives, the semantic tokens, everything is kind of in here, which is nice. Definitely overkill for some, like a smaller website. Okay, so do we want to just sync 90 variables? So yeah, let's just do that. Ready to import. Okay, there's a lot of, go back to Webflow, come back here, go back to Webflow, come back here. Why do I keep losing my browser window? Windows, probably. So or skill issue. Okay, there we go. Once again, we're back on the dashboard, going to playground. Why is there two now? Did I just duplicate that twice? Okay. Now I don't know which which is which. Also, how can there be two of the same Figma to Webflow tests? Okay, it's ready to import 90 variables. Let's go. This is pretty sick. Yep. Oh, yes. Let's see how organized this is. So sick. Oh my god. I know this isn't like, well, actually, I'm not sure. I don't think it's a new feature, but this is pretty awesome. I really wish you can... Why couldn't they just put a little collapse thing here. The one thing that Webflow sort of struggles with, I feel like, is they really love to just have everything expanded and just assume that you don't have a billion things. And that just kind of drives me a little crazy sometimes. Okay, so that's pretty awesome. So it got all of my variables, although it just got the primitives, it looks like. So how is it going to, so it has, oh, okay, so it's just bringing in a one collection at a time. That makes sense. So now I could sync the rest of my stuff. Let's check that out. So let me get out of here, open up this again. This is pretty nuts. What a great time to be a web designer. That's pretty sick. Okay. Going back into color, we'll go into our dark mode. It's a bit tedious, especially if you have a ridiculous what's this about? Interesting. Why is it overriding it? It's a mode. What happens if I do that? Ah. So I just screwed it up big time. Nice. Okay. Skill issue. Let's call this color primitives. Right? And we'll create a new mode. Base mode can't be renamed. New mode. There we go. Dark mode. Cool. Okay. Wait a minute. Oh no, I thought it just like automatically generated my dark mode. That would be nuts. Okay. So that's SDS light. This is SDS dark, right? So let's sync SDS dark. Well, actually, no. Let's sync SDS light because we overwrote the frickin' thing. Okay. A very interesting workflow. I need to just use this more probably. What's what? Why are there two? We'll go with this one. So does it let me like, how do you know if this is gonna go in light or dark? Okay. Color primitives. Here's my base. Here's my dark. What's the workflow here? A bit unclear. Is there a... No. Very kind of confusing a little bit. Here's the base, here's the dark, right? Unless the plugin was, when the plugin was giving me some kind of thing that it's just, that it can only do it one at a time, wherever that was. Let me go back to, okay. Take a step back. Let's go back to here. Come on. Oh my god, dude. It just takes a while to open, I guess. How do I just delete everything? Select. I'm just gonna nuke everything here. So we delete everything. We go back into here, color primitives, and we are in, where did I see that? Well, there's no light and dark and color primitives, so there you go. So I go back in here and back in here, Figma to Webflow. We'll go in here. All right, so we have just successfully imported our color primitives. And next up, we'll have colors. What's the collection name? Color, just color, I guess. I wonder if I need to create color. No, this is the collections, and these are like the groups, I guess. So I could just import color, maybe. Let's check it out. Back into here. So yeah, and everyone's in here, good. And then I just want to do light. Let's sync that. Color, I guess just color, create. So because I have this selected, I wonder if that's how it knows. So going back in here, color. Nice. So that's kind of strange. Let me exit out of this and just test this little theory I've got. If I last selected on color primitives, what happens? No, doesn't matter. Okay, whatever. So let's import that. Let's see where it goes. Huh. It went in the primitives. So what does this teach us exactly? So I guess what, like, I would have to do this. Ugh. They couldn't have just made it go there. All right, well, this isn't the greatest workflow, but it still like saves you a million hours just plugging in all of these tokens. The problem though that I'm seeing here is that these tokens aren't these semantic variables are not referencing the tokens. Sort of defeats the purpose a little bit. So you do still have to like do this. Let me unselect this. You could move it easily, so that's nice. But essentially, okay, so you would have to basically do this. This is like the workflow it looks like. Let me deselect everything. So you go to Figma, you sync it, and then you would have to select the collections or the groups, I guess, whatever this is called, right? And then from here, you essentially, I don't know why I'm expending so much time on this, but I just want to, yeah, this is definitely still less painful than typing in a million hex codes, especially if you have for some reason have a website this ridiculous that you need all of these tokens. So I'm definitely not testing this in real life. So okay, so you can at least move things, right? Modes will be converted to manual modes. You can edit, okay, and then I can move it to color, and then I could just move it. Then it's going to be now in here. But then these are not connected. That part's not great. I wish there was a way for the plugin to know about the link. The aliasing, it's called. All right. Either way, I think this is a huge quality of life improvement. Definitely something that I will want to start using for sure. Let's just quickly take a look at like if I wanted to import, let's say this thing. This is an entire. Let's look for like a template examples maybe. Yeah. So if I wanted to bring this guy in, so I've selected it, Figma to Webflow, layers. Now go ahead and retrieve their details before syncing. Okay. What does that mean? Ooh. Need some water. Be right back. All right. Platform, desktop, div. There's some variables that's going to be brought in, some images that's going to be brought in. Let's see what happens. I think this is, oh. Click confirm. Click to confirm you want to copy to Webflow. Use the Figma desktop app to remove this confirmation step. I am. Okay. And then in Figma to Webflow, copy it, open your website in Webflow. I should have probably read the instructions. But let's be real. No one is going to read these. And they really should. How to use the Figma to Webflow app. How to remove the plugin from your workspace. Okay. I think we'll revisit this at another video. But I just want to see, without reading instructions, what we get. Boop. This is FinSuite maybe? Oh no, this is Relim. For pasting cross-site. It's pretty sick, dude. Like, just that, you got a whole thing. That's pretty crazy, I think. It's not the most responsive thing in the world. It kind of is. But like, you didn't have to do... Oh, it's completely broken. Why is that completely broken, I wonder? Oh, that grid, maybe? Maybe the best way to do it is... Oh, God. And then you're now stuck with these. That's kind of shitty. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, oh God. There's just gonna be a million Webflow websites out there with like the worst class names ever, probably. That's what we have to look forward to here. Jesus. Okay. So yeah, that's what we're up against. It's still pretty dope. I probably wouldn't paste in like an entire thing like a crazy person. I probably would do like, you know, just that maybe. So I would do, what is it? So I would go in here, click that, and then continue, copy. Back in here, let's get rid of this whole thing. clear out the terrible style name or the classes that it just generated and paste. Yeah, this is probably what I would do. And then have to, resolve all of these things. I don't know if I want to use this. Everything's in freaking pixels. Everything is just. I think this is more of a. If you don't want to present in prototype mode in Figma, then you can copy and paste in a crazy way into Webflow, get it on the browser, see what's up. But otherwise, I mean, is it faster to... I'm trying to think, like, what are we actually saving time on? Like, is it faster to just do this? Like div, div, div? Like, that's essentially what happened here. And I guess it saves you a few clicks because you don't have to do the flex. And it kind of tells you stuff, right? But yeah, maybe I'm going to do a test on timing myself. Am I faster using this plugin versus just not? We'll see. So some limitations with this Figma to Webflow plugin right now, it seems like, without reading the instructions. So, take that into account. You can at least drop all your primitives and be happy you don't have to type in, especially if for some reason you're building a website that requires this many values, right? But then outside of that, you can't really do aliasing. It doesn't do aliasing just yet. Maybe in the future it will. And when you do paste layers and things like that, you're kind of stuck with your terrible naming in Figma, right? So this is definitely a me problem, naming it in this way. So you almost have to build your Figma files. I mean, this was always true even with the previous plugin. You have to build your Figma files the way that you would name classes and things. So I can see that working, right? Yeah, why not? And then you get to it's still faster in Figma to mess around with just these values. I mean, it's becoming so close. It's like I couldn't even tell just now if this was Webflow or Figma. And so I don't know, there might be a time when we just bypass the comp phase and just go right into Webflow if you're using Webflow. So that's Figma to Webflow. Looking kind of cool. Definitely has a lot of promise. The next thing I wanted to look at was FinSuite actually released a little product update type thing. They haven't done this in a while. Actually, I don't remember the last time they did this, but they used to release these product updates pretty frequently, and you get to hear the things happening in across their products, which is attributes, Wiz, their components that they're rolling out, which is pretty dope. So I kind of just wanted to scrub through this.
The first monthly product update of the year. And hope you like that new intro. We're going to keep doing cool things. Keep
sorry, Joe.
it up,
I didn't
try to make
watch it.
New and exciting each year.
Let's watch it. Gotta support the community, Nice, 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 nice. I like it. Great intro.
But this monthly product update we thought was a very good success last year, so we're doing it again in the same style. These streams are going to be short. They're going to be sweet. We have you in and out in 10 to 15 minutes.
Not like this current stream we're watching right now.
First product we're talking about today. FinSuite components, we shipped a lot last month. We had a lot of pending things in 2024, and we went ahead and launched them. 3 new components for you, new tutorials and documentation.
Sick.
The plan for table.
Yep, they got a whole thing. Let me jump to building components. So a big trend happening right now is everyone's just making components. That's the thing. we all have our frameworks now. So people seem to be done making frameworks and now moving into just making component libraries. Uh, it's really just exactly what happened back in like 2011, 2010, when people started making a lot of frameworks. Back then it was like grid systems, like the 16 pixel grid system, or like, yeah, something like that. And then over time there was like WordPress components and things. For some reason we didn't call it components back then. I think they were like blocks or something. um, but yeah, so FinSuite rolled this out, which is pretty sick. I think FinSuite's components have a lot more features within them, in that they have like an actual app that you can then, uh, change or customize your components in that way. So it feels like an app experience, like an extension on top of Webflow. But then you have Lumos, and then you have like I think it's called Osmo or something. Yeah, there's like a whole bunch of components, and this is just in the low code space. I kind of want to talk about what's going on in the broader web in just a second, because I think that's even more exciting to some extent. This slider component is actually really awesome. I almost the other day almost just built an app just like this, but then I came across this exact slider. It's really sick. I believe it uses the, let me see. Yeah, no, it's really just Wiz's own slider. So if we go here, and I don't know why I don't have Wiz in. Oh, it's because it's an extension, I guess. I'm on my PC, so I don't have the Wiz thing over there. But anyways, um, generally speaking, it looks. Where is it? Wiz. Yeah. So yeah, I was just trying to see whether or not this was using Webflow's own slider, or I think it's Swiper or something. We could probably check in just a second. But, oh, here. I can get the Webflow app from here. Oh, come on, dude. Just, is this gonna work? Yeah. Installing the Suits and Sandals workspace. So the whole team has it. Uh-oh. I hate when I see something about workspaces and pricing. It's just never good news when it comes to Webflow. All right. So, oh, now I have multiple instances of Webflow open. So let me You'd think that it would just be there, but it ain't. Okay, what's happening? I don't understand why installing an app doesn't actually install the app. Oh, you know what? It's because skill issue. It's because that just makes that app accessible in the workspace, not actually your site. So you have to actually connect it to your site. At least, that's kind of the theory here. Wait, no, that totally doesn't make sense, because look, I still have to do this all over again. The hell? I'm stuck in a loop. What's going on, dude? I don't remember installing apps being this ridiculous. Oh, it was there the whole time. I'm an idiot. I was thinking it's gonna appear right here with like the little FinSuite thingy, but it's not. Anyways, let's launch it. It's pretty sick. So got a plan to publish. That's fine. This is awesome. FinSuite's dev team is really it's I've relied on them heavily. Oh my god. It's just so good, dude. This is exactly what I wanted to build. I may still build it. How much is it? How much are they charging? It's surprisingly simple to build. Should I just tempted to just like stream me rebuilding this whole thing? What's the price? It's $5. What does that mean? You could just, for projects with 1 or 2 components per month per domain. It's pretty nuts to pay $5 a month for a freaking slider. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, they did great work. They gotta obviously look at all the stuff they got planned and that they're working on. It definitely will save you a ton of time, so probably worth it. But who's paying that? Your client or you? Probably your client. And so now you got to tell your client, hey, come on over to Webflow, where they'll try to get you to enterprise. There's bandwidth issues, localization, there's all this cool stuff, but you got to keep paying for it. I don't know. I'm not sure if plus you got to pay for your sliders. God forbid you get 1 million. If you're getting 1 million views per month, like that's the least of your concern, right? Pretty cool. Bulk discounts. This is probably, yeah, okay, so they've at least have a solution for it. That's nice. Highly recommend checking this out. I may check this out for some other projects, but yeah, that's pretty cool. What else did they release in their product update? Let's just quickly go back.
Whatever number, and it's going to create a really cool counting effect on the site. Yes, you can do this with a JavaScript library, just like you can do any functionality and components with a JavaScript library. The goal of what we're doing here is to make this so easy, thoughtless, just seamless in the Webflow experience. Also, check out that tutorial. The tutorial is awesome, by the way, and I love that the first tutorial that we released that I am not doing the voiceover of is actually our best tutorial. So
that's not true, Joe. You have great tutorials, my dude.
To the next level.
Let's go to attributes.
But really, we're not working on much with component launches this next month because we're focusing on attributes. What we're working on this month, the big V2 open source release.
Sick.
Officially, we have all hands on deck. Everybody's on this project. We are, we're working on it.
Is this, let's check that out. That's pretty epic, actually. So I've been using FinSuite's, not just like client first, but also all their TypeScript libraries, dev starters, all this stuff since basically they made this repo available. My boy, Alex, the man. This is awesome. What did they update recently? Let's see. It looks like, oh, this is just test files. This is kind of like what helped me do a lot of like work with, like serverless. So if I needed to use anything with APIs. Having environment variables like on Vercel or Netlify to submit forms. Uh, some reCAPTCHA issue stuff that I had to deal with for another project. Yeah, this dev starter really helped me out, as well as like building apps and things. Is really awesome. Um, it looks like they have some VS Code extensions and whatnot as well in here. I don't exactly know what the latest thing. Oh, I guess this repo is kind of uh not the late. Oh, well, they updated 4 days ago. Just some chores. Upgraded PMPM, which is nice. I would love to see the developers with the engineers or just the actual coders in the Webflow community start moving to Dino, because that would be really cool. So that's Brian's other project, who made Node.js, basically. Kind of not abandoning Node.js, but like starting up Dino, which is even better than Node.js. And a lot of, everything is like Node modules, basically. Um, this TS Utils is basically the greatest utility kind of resource when you're developing in Webflow or for Webflow. It's got the greatest stuff. But yeah, everything is still in Node, which is fine. But it'd be cool to start seeing things transition to Dino, I think. So it's pretty cool. Let's see what's up with the open source attributes. Haven't done much with this one.
It's going to be a big one. It's going to be awesome. The list.
I wonder if
the list update. It's next level. It really is. We're working on the documentation for that. Old challenges, new features. This is something that we've all wanted for attributes filter for a long time. The filter result count. Advanced features that are seen on enterprise grade websites like Booking, Airbnb, any of these giant filtering type engines. You'll be able to mimic those features with our new with the new filter result count. We'll show you what that looks like in a second. Also, load count, how many items load when load more is pressed. All these little things that were hard to make updates to in V1 are now being baked in by default in V2. So this is what we're talking about here. This is a little bit of a demo we have, just showing you that as you are clicking through on the checkboxes, the values are updating along with it. This is not something that's easy to do. This is not something that you see on most websites, really. We had a hard time finding functionality like this.
Oh my god, I've had to do this before, and it truly, truly is a nightmare and a performance issue, because you're having to basically reactively calculate, how many you have to like loop through, count all the items, and then also update all of that. And Webflow is React, I guess, but still you don't have access to that power. So you're having to do everything through inline JavaScript, or being served up on a friggin' CDN, and then the client is just kind of bugging out because it's so much compute just just to do this, especially if you have 300 plus results.
Outside of the big giant names like your Booking, like your Airbnb. So we're going to give this to you. It's going to be free. It's going to be part of V2. You can see it working. This is an actual working example where it's working.
If this is open source, I want to contribute, actually. This is like one of the first open source projects I would probably contribute to.
We're not just talking about it.
And potentially write shitty code, but it's okay.
So we are going to release that awesome update along with these cool features. Fuzzy search helps what users helps users find what they're looking for. Awesome, spelled incorrectly. We can help try to bring people to the right search results. Commonly misspelled words, especially in specific industries, you can.
Nice. Right now, I'm using a library for that, and that's not great. I mean, I'm sure they will also be using something, but if it's deep, if it's integrated into their code base already, then it's just one package, I guess. So that's kind of
Set
nice.
all of that up. Multiple next and previous buttons.
Very cool. The filters is always sort of challenging, and it's actually a Webflow test that I give to any collaborators or contractors that I'm partnering with for a project. I'll just be like, hey, let me see you implement FinSuite's filters, because especially like nesting, like nested components, and then filters, and then all the other attribute options that you have, it usually trips a lot of people up. I would say it trips me up still. I still use that little query parameter that they have that tells you whether or not you messed up, and where you messed up with your attributes, because there's so many little settings that you got to remember. And this isn't like coding where it gives you like errors as you're kind of writing code. It's like you publish and then you're just like, nothing's working, nothing's connected, and then you got to just read the docs over and over.
Just too exciting. We're going to have.
So yeah, that's kind of a good challenge that I always give people. Getting really good at that is probably it's a good thing.
A workout just talking. All right. Monthly
What else they
product
got?
update. Next, increase the limits and capabilities with their CMS API. And now we can make a significant improvement to the way that CMS bridge works to increase
Nice.
the speed.
I haven't used CMS Bridge, but heard good things about it.
Browser and our
Oh, Wiz.
system. We have the new public LLMS.txt.tx file for AI training. Go check that out. Click on.
Oh yeah, I did see this. I'm working on a LMS project, not LLMS, but just a learning management system, and I have a stack of MemberStack, Supabase, Wiz. Apparently now also Supabase's edge functions for serverless stuff.
To really
I love that they're kind of all in on Supabase.
understand how Wiz works, and
that's
all
cool.
the time.
They updated their docs, dude. Like, so while I've been working on this Wiz update, I keep referring to their docs and it's like not updated, and it drives me insane. I get that it's definitely a tedious process. What actually got updated? Ooh. Wait. What? You could update NP. What? That I did not know. That's pretty sick. That's pretty awesome, dude. That you can do. So this is like Swiper. This is Three.js. That's pretty amazing that you can do this in Wiz. I'm kind of stoked about this part. Oh my god, I'm actually really excited about this. Wow. And then you could run your function. Oh my god, that's so sick. Oh god, this is so cool. Okay, so why is this cool? What does it actually mean? Okay, so I have a Webflow project that I created a while back that is basically the most ridiculous way to use Webflow. Let's see. It's in here somewhere. Maybe in Playground. So one of these. So this one is React 3 Fiber, which is Three.js in React, right? On Webflow. Now, what's happening with that is, what that means is I'm actually mounting an entire React app onto my Webflow, which is also, I believe, is in React. It's the heaviest thing. It's really stupid, but I just wanted to see what that experience would be, like the developer experience. And the reason is because React 3 Fiber is way easier to use than 3JS because it abstracts a lot of really tedious things about 3JS into just like these really nice to use components. And not to mention, there's a library called Dry that that abstracts things even more, or just has things set up for you, and you just basically use it. Like setting up a canvas is really fast, right? So there's like all this really cool stuff about React 3 Fiber, and because I'm in little Webflow La La Land over here, I'm not able to actually use it unless I only use React 3 Fiber with headless CMS projects like Next.js projects and things like that. I couldn't really use it in a Webflow context. I made it work using. I did make it work, and I had. You can kind of see here. I think I published these. Maybe these are connected to my local host actually. I was kind of making it work with Barba JS because I wanted to have I wanted to have some sort of a single page app experience. So Barba JS is still kind of like a really good solution for that, especially if you're in Webflow. I don't know. I wish I could find it. I have way too many freaking things in here. This is 3JS. This is a React project. Did I open all of these already? I don't know. But anyways, I think Wiz would be a really dope solution for I don't have the let's see what code I have in here. I don't have my scripts in here anymore. That's probably the reason. Let's see. Oh, I do have Netlify in here. I wonder if this is still running. That'd be nice. But you could see, like, you have to do all this shit right here, which is super annoying. Let's see what the script does. It's been a while since I last published this. Is this still live? Yeah, it is. Let's see. Let's see what this gives us. I don't know if this will actually load my stuff. Yeah, it does. Okay, so this is a React 3 Fiber Webflow website. This is a tutorial by Wawa Sensei, who is kind of the man. And basically, I'm using portals, which is through Dry Library, and it literally didn't take that much code to make this work. Although right now it's kind of not working. What does this button do? I don't think, yeah, nothing is actually connected to anything, I guess. So that's not good. But I'm going to revisit this now because now I can actually play around and like work on this, I guess, if I use Wiz. The problem with Wiz is that it's quite expensive. But yeah, so I'm mounting a React app basically on top of this entire thing. Yeah, I guess I was like messing around with like stuff here. Actually, do I have like a, let's delete everything else. Oh, I think I was also doing yeah, like these sections and stuff. So maybe I could just that's the React 3 Fiber context right there. So let's just get rid of that. And in here, let's go here, auto. Okay. It's such a cool little tutorial that I have that I want to kind of look at. real quick. You see the load time is just awful. Oh, dang it. I don't have the functionality on it. Anyways. But yeah, so that's pretty sick that Wiz has that, because it kind of opens us up to being able to use libraries really quickly. Yeah, all sorts of stuff. So that's exciting. Moving along here.
We also
Yeah,
have general models, your knowledge
yes,
level.
lots of AI stuff.
Assassin.
Classic. Very cool. Very cool. I want to take a look at a cool another component library, but now we're moving away a little bit from low code here. Let me copy this link. So this is dope because it's just made with gsap.com. I think, yeah, it's still like kind of in waitlist, but I really appreciate this one because it has a lot of not just these like really trendy stuff here, but it's got a lot of things that you kind of need for a lot of projects. And I'm super stoked and like really excited actually about. I gotta follow these people. Also, what's our thoughts on Blue Sky, because it seems like people are starting to do it, and I do have an account. I don't know what the login is, but anyways, yeah, it's pretty dope. I'm gonna join the waitlist. Everyone should join this waitlist. That's also my email if you want to hit me up. Okay. Sweet. So pretty cool. Very interested in this. This is going to be live. What now? No. It's going to be live soon. A lot of GSAP stuff. So that's going to be really dope. All right. Some other updates. I am a big user of V0. And first of all, if you don't know what V0 is, it's a product by Vercel that generates UI for you. But basically, you can just have it go wild and give you a bunch of, basically make your entire website for you. It's not the most perfect thing in the world, and I really love the name of this product is because it's V0, like it's your starting point. It's not meant to be the final point, although a lot of people are really pushing this to be the final thing, which I think is really, it's cool. Some ways that I've used V0 before, we play in my family this card game called Oh Hell. And it's a really fun game, but it requires you to keep track of scores and things like that. And traditionally, it's played with pen and paper. Like there has to be one person who's a scorekeeper. And, for all the years I've been playing this with my wife, it's kind of, I was like, there needs to be an app for this. And so while we were on vacation, I actually did create that app just using V0, which was pretty awesome. Let me try and find it. I forked it a bunch of times. And this is one of the cool new updates to V0 is that you can actually link back to your forks. Because right now I'm trying to find this app, a fork of this project that I made. Yeah, here it is. So you can see like the amount of prompting that I had to do. It's still definitely, and I was doing this while I was traveling, like on my phone. Like I was on my phone, basically product managing / developing this app, or V0 was developing the app and I was just a product manager, I suppose, just prompting it to get it to have the features that I want. So here's kind of this really dope app that I made for Oh Hell. And if you know what this card game is, that's pretty cool because not a lot of people know what it is. First of all, it's got light mode and dark mode, obviously. And then typically how it works is you first enter your name. So MILES, so Miles. I also added a feature here where, because if you're on your phone and you're typing into this input field, it would show the keyboard right on your phone. But then when you hit add, it would like disappear and then you would have to click the thing again and then the keyboard would pop up. It's like this nightmare. And so I even have like little features like that, right? My cat's name is Papa, so we'll add him. Maybe a Joe, maybe a Nick, maybe a Sam. Okay, so now you got all your players in here. By default, someone has to be a dealer, like the starting point. And so I have I have like a selector here on who the dealer is, right? So this is actually also rotating, and I'll kind of talk about that in a second. I never got the reordering this drag and drop to work, because I mean, I sort of know what's going on in the code. So if I had this in like something like Bolt, where I can actually like mess around with the code, I think you can do that here as well, but I wasn't doing it. I could probably find where that issue is. I think that's the last couple of prompts like I was trying to get at. But anyway, so let's say Sam is our dealer, and the dealer basically rotates right around the table each round. And then, okay, cool. So everyone's in here, and then you start the game. And then this is like the main app. It even has like these quirky little things. And basically how this game works is everyone gets dealt basically like one card to start with. There's a kind of like what's called the trump card, which is if you have that suit, but you have to follow suit essentially, and whoever has the highest card wins within that suit, unless you don't have that suit and you have a trump card, which actually overrides and you win the entire thing if you have the highest trump card. Anyways, it starts by everyone going around in a circle saying what their bid is. And so that's what this part of the app is. So Miles, I'll say, no, I don't think I'm going to win this round. Papa's going to win this round, but then also Nick might win this round. And then Joe is none, and everyone else is none. And then it automatically goes to a scoring thing here, because after you do all your things, you actually like show your cards, you take turns, and then basically there's only one card out, so only one bid can win. So either Papa or Nick is gonna have to lose. So in here, I have a little scoring, and it's either Miles made it or missed. And that's it. That's like the app basically. And you can see I have a card counter, like how many cards have been dealt, how many bids are out, right? So there's two, but there's only one card out, so someone's about to lose. So you keep track of that. And again, traditionally how this was played is like just by memory, or like someone the whole table keeping track of things. And there's all these like pain points that I identified of like, the players would always have to say, hey, how many bids are out? Because like that kind of influences your how much you want to bid, your strategy essentially. And so if everyone has this app open, then you can just kind of have information on you. And then I kept like a table view here, just because that's kind of how traditionally you would look at the data basically. And I could say I made this one, and then let's say Papa is the one who missed, and you can see the scoring is actually calculating as well, which is pretty awesome. And here how the scoring works is if you bid 1, it's 10 plus the amount that you've bid, so it's 11 right there. And then let's say Joe made it, and then Sam also made it, and then now it counts up to 2. And how this works is when you run out of cards to be distributed evenly across all the players, you basically go all the way up to that point and then come back down in the amount of cards. So I have this counting automatically based on the number of players. It's pretty crazy that like I basically made all of this on the go while I was on a van, like traveling essentially, on my phone. So it's pretty sick, and you can actually go to the previous round, change scores, do all sorts of stuff, and then you can also end the game. So that's V0. Pretty awesome. Anyways, apparently now some updates to V0, they have a reasoning model now, so it'll actually tell you what it's thinking and how it's kind of going through and trying to resolve your prompt, which is sick. You can also link back to forks. And the coolest part about it, I think, is, let's see if I can get to it. I don't know actually how to get to it. Let's see. Latest. This is your latest version. Okay. product, rename. I'm gonna favorite this because I keep having to find it. I don't know where it is, but do I just, if I do a, essentially they have environment variables now, and let's see, I saw it in here, v0, and this update I think is pretty sick because this gets us closer to something like Bolt, where you can actually like make things. So let's see, how do you do it? Oh, that's pretty awesome. So back to v0. Where is that? Maybe they didn't roll it out yet? This is a fork, right? So you would think, oh, I don't know. I don't know where it is. But basically what they're saying is you can actually get back to your main one. Maybe they didn't roll it out yet. So you're working in the fork from, oh, it's all the way at the top. I guess it's only gonna work if I maybe do it again. So like if I go in here, or if I go in here and then I fork it. Yeah. So you kind of have to do it again. And then that'll give you your setup. It's pretty sick. And then there's also environment variables, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so this is the reasoning. So it's like if you use DeepSeek R1 or OpenAI, you get that. I do wonder where the actual environment. Oh, and okay, so if you have a project, I wonder, can I make this a project? So in projects, we can go into oh hell. Yeah, it's sick, dude. Now you got your environment variables, your sources. That's so cool. And then yeah, all this stuff is here as well. It's basically Bolt now, which is also another really great product that I was messing around with. It's pretty much the same, but it has, let's see what I've done with this one. I haven't like built an actual thing like how I did with Vercel, or with v0. I did like some stuff with 3D scenes and whatnot, which was kind of cool. I don't know if it actually ended up working. The experience with Bolt is pretty awesome because it really gives you cursor with a preview, and then it seems to be a little bit smarter about your code base. You could set it up with your Supabase. Like everything is kind of in here, which is nice. It's pretty cool. Let's see. This is probably like a really crazy project that I was trying to get it to do. What about this one? Let's spin this one up. Okay. Oh. I guess it's in, well, there's like bugs and whatnot. Anyways, this is Bolt. DeepSeek's available in Cursor now, so that's also pretty nice. And the other thing I wanted to look at actually is Tailwind. So Tailwind released v4, which is pretty great. And I love how they start this. Holy shit, it's actually done. We just tagged Tailwind CSS v4. This is huge. Lots of performance updates. Dev Ed has a really great video on the updates for this one. You know, lots of this is a huge update, which is really dope. I'm pretty excited to get this going. You can kind of see like how fast things are with this one, especially if you're building really large applications, really large websites, whatever it may be. It's pretty awesome. And I've been using this a lot more because I am just basically obsessed with Payload right now. A lot of my channel content is Webflow, but pretty soon it might just be strictly Payload because it's honestly, I don't know, it's honestly just the best. Why is it the best? If you're building on Next.js, you need a CMS solution. This should be the default. And yeah, it's super easy to get up and running. You don't have to like do a whole bunch of setup or like, you know, all sorts of stuff just to get it to work. That's also sort of a nightmare. Like Payload just takes care of so much for you. It does abstract a lot of things away, but if you're building websites, this is definitely the move, I think. And this should be like a call to arms for, you know, anyone who's a low-code developer to get into this world, because one, you'll definitely get a lot more high-paying jobs probably, and then two, you'll understand web development a lot better. They have some examples so that you can actually see what the patterns are, learn about it. They even have Astro now, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, so highly recommend Payload CMS for anyone who's interested in that and haven't touched it. Honestly, if you build on Next.js ever, you probably know about it. You've probably used it because it's just so like big right now. I think the number of stars it has, it's like more popular than Next.js right now. I think I saw like that post on LinkedIn or something. So it's pretty incredible. A really good like CMS, and really lightweight. It's super fast. Can't recommend it enough. I need to try Astro. A lot of people are using Astro, but industry standard, if we could call it that, is sort of Next.js still, but we'll see. The reason why I kind of held off on Payload was because it was defaulting to Next 15 and React 19, and I'm a React 3 Fiber person, and there was a lot of dependency issues with that. So, you know, I had to hold off, but I've got a few side projects built on top of Payload, some AI projects, as well as some, you know, React 3 Fiber creative dev projects. Hopefully I can share with people. That's it. I think I've covered all the things I wanted to check out and look at. Yeah, that's it. Next Friday, hopefully I'll have another list that I can do and just kind of